Baseball is America's pastime, but it's a stranger still in most parts of the world. For this next feature, we travel 5,000 miles where it's hard work to be an A's fan.
Here on television, most A's games are produced live from ballparks across the country. On radio, every game is broadcasted, including pre- and post-game shows. In the newspapers, the A's are thoroughly covered on a daily basis by a team of beat writers. On the internet, there is the official team site, along with the countless other blogging and statistical sources. And that's not to mention all the new technologies like scores, instant alerts, and now streaming video on mobile phones. Simply said, with all the coverage, it is easy to be an A's fan in 2007.
That is, unless you're someplace like here, London, England, where it's hard enough to follow baseball, let alone the A's.
Meet David Vineker, an East Bay native who grew up with the A's and now struggles to get his fix living here in the UK.
My dad took me to my first A's game in 1973 on Campy Campaneris Bat Day, and I'll never forget it. Of course, that was in the middle of a dominant run, and how could you as a 10-year-old kid not just fall for the A's?
David's love for baseball was eventually surpassed by love for his wife, an Englishwoman who convinced the Californian to move across the pond.
So you made call it a sacrifice, at least as far as the A's go.
Yes.
How often do you get to see games, and are they even on TV out here?
I don't get to see games very often. You get the little fixes in little slivers whenever you can.
Right.
When I was 2 years ago, I went to my favorite barbecue restaurant. It's got a chain of 3 of them here in town, and I never paid attention to the TVs on the screen, but there actually was an A's game on television, and I flipped out. It was a Saturday night. It was a day game, and I said, "What the heck's going on?" It was the North American Sports Network. Now that's a cool deal, with the exception that it's super expensive to buy it. So I go to barbecue restaurant Bodine's here in London whenever I want to watch a game, which is what I did for the playoffs, and that was beautiful. So I actually got to watch this. And talk about vapors, you cling to these things. I got to watch the playoff game.
Out here, football.
It's Tevez, and it's absolutely magnificent. What a way to get your first goal. What a day to do it.
Yeah, this kind of football is king. Also of interest are rugby, cricket, and even equestrian sports. Sadly, Abner Doubleday's game is relatively unknown in these parts.
It's pretty much unheard of out here.
It is unheard of, and the real tragedy is that they've got this game called cricket, which is, in a way, the birthplace, if they're a birth game of baseball, just as England is, in a way, the birthplace of America.
Given the small amount of baseball followers, Vineker is undoubtedly one of the few A's fans in the country. But that doesn't stop him from showing his pride wearing the green and gold all over London.
What do you miss about the East Bay, about the Coliseum? What's maybe one of the little things that you just say, gosh, I really miss being around that?
I miss being around all the A's fans at the Coliseum and in and around the East Bay. They're friendly folks. They're always up for conversation about the A's. And, of course, I miss the East Bay barbecue big time.
Now, Mike, they don't have Action 36 Cable 6 out in London, but they do have the internet. That's how I met David. And, of course, that's how he'll see this feature on our website, ondeckshow.com.
Obviously a true fan over there, huh, Brody?
Well, you come here, this is your first game that you see at the Oakland Coliseum. The Oakland A's are your first team. You'll stick with them forever. I know the feeling.
Just like us. Stick around. Tigers, A's coming up right here on Action 36 Cable 6.